Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Last time we were in the city, we did a bunch of naming and we also built up a major park in the city. The main park in the downtown core that runs from the city hall all the way down to the Theater of Wonders. So that was a fun build, and I hope you liked all the name suggestions that we've added into the series. Now, if there were any more, or if there were any revisions, if I got something wrong, those changes will not be in this video, but they will be in the next one. So, without further ado, let's check out where we're going to be building today, and then we'll also look at the park that we ended up building at the end of last week's video. So we're going to be building out in Ordway again today. Out over here, we might start the beginning of Elizabethtown, at least the part of Elizabethtown that's going to be near Dunn Elizabeth Station. And the reason why we're working out here is because I want to kind of finish off a couple things I have planned for Dunn, and then we'll kind of change gears for the rest of the week. And one of those things is to do with the fact that a lot of this came from a viewer suggestion, and I got it wrong. So I'm going to correct that in today's video. Particularly around the train station and its location, so we'll be doing that, and I'll also be doing a bit of revision around the area here. We're going to be adding in a primary school over in this part of things. The bus lines, we're going to add some in. We're going to add a commercial zone. We're going to add a historic place, and we might even work on the forestry industry. So let's first of all go check out the park. I forgot about that part. And here is the park, Prairie Green Park, and it's pretty nice. It runs right down the heart of the city, and kind of in between a bit of a couplet, almost like a rectangle about, in a way. It's centered with this Theater of Wonders here, and right in the downtown core. And we have a couple of the new items from the Promenades and Plazas DLC mixed in with the classic Parks Life DLC assets. It has the city arch as well inside of the park, and some bathrooms, and a couple more of the park's assets. And then it centers itself with City Hall over here. Colonel Ordway Memorial City Hall. So let's go back down the highways, or perhaps along New King Charles Avenue, Provincial Highway 16. And we'll head all the way back to this part of town. So we're going to start off by adding in those elements, and then we'll move into the revision, and then we'll add the historic site, and then the forestry. So that'll be kind of the order of things. And the first thing is to add a primary school. So we have a high school over here with some sports facilities, and you know, it's just a good spot to add a primary school as well, right? We already have schools kind of going over here, and I'm thinking right in this zone here will be a good spot for it. I was thinking also on this side could be good, but I think we'll try to keep it all on the same side of things. So let's start off by clearing the trees. All right, and then we're going to add an access road. And this access road is just going to be something really simple, probably the same as this, which is the country road, if I'm not mistaken. And we will just run it pretty close to, let's make sure we have node snapping on. What is this? Toggle straight slope. Oh, cool. That must be a new part of this mod. Interesting. Okay, so I want it to be pretty close to this, but not exactly. So we'll go right there. Let's turn off some of our guidelines so that we can get a bit of a fun angle here, like so. Very good. And I don't think we need to change up these roads at all. I think it's going to be fine. We have a decreased speed limit on this road, so cars don't bypass, or cars don't use this as a bypass. They'll hopefully go around through the main zone. But let's get a primary school in here. Now I was thinking about using the community school for this area, mainly because I want it to seem like a newer addition. We could go for just the classic elementary school. We have that a lot in this series. We could go for the old one, though I don't think this is the right spot for that. So why don't we go with the community school? Looks like a bit more of a newer elementary school. And yeah, you know, I think it's pretty neat. Let's add a bit of a fence around it. Yeah, you know, I think this is gonna work. And then we'll get a parking lot on this side. So maybe get the parking lot first, and then we'll work on the fence. Looks like there's already a good hedge there, which would block off part of the parking lot for us. So let's add that in. I think the parking lots I use are in here. No, they're in transit. There we go. And why don't we go with something simple? 4-4. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then what we can do is just push it into the concrete a little bit so that looks like it's all kind of one. And then we'll move this kind of back in here a little bit like that. And yeah, that's pretty good with me. I like how that turned out. And then let's get a fence. And for primary schools, I like using the forestry fence, mainly because it seems like it's a thick enough fence, sturdy enough fence. And you know what? Let's do something that I should do more often and use the parallel tool here. So we'll go parallel from here to here, and oh, that is slope. That is parallel from here to here. There we go, and I'll click it in. So I clicked enter, we'll exit out. Then I'll just grab move it here, and I'll select just the node. There we go. And then I'll just scooch this back to about here. And then there we go. Have a nice clean kind of connection along the concrete here. And then let's grab the fence again. Okay, very good. Then let's just quickly grab a little path, and we'll just run this right here like that. The great thing about these paths is they don't actually need to connect on the nodes for people to actually use them. And I think if we do something like this, that'll look nice. Yeah, that does look nice. All right. So let's just make a quick couple of revisions, and we'll add in some detail onto the whole elementary school. All right, so there we go. We got the elementary school in here. We got a nice big rock for the kids to climb on. Not sure how safe that is, but I know I would have loved that when I was a kid. Got a little makeshift playground over here with our parking lot and some detail around here. We got the flowers along here because I just want to make sure that there's a nice clear separation between this road for the access over here. But I think it turned out pretty nicely. Let's just re-add in the trees over here, and there we go. So very good indeed. I'm thinking maybe we should add in another path over here. Let's go from about this point here, and we'll just kind of carry it upwards through the hills, and we'll just kind of emerge right here. So I think we'll just get a bit closer though. There we go. And I thought I fixed the issue that I was having, that trees were kind of remaining on the land after I was building, but I guess not for this video. So I'll have to double check to make sure I did everything right to prevent that issue from happening again. But yeah, there we go. Now I can place them and they're not going over top of the pathway, so that's good. All right, so now we have an extra pathway down through here, and hopefully that allows people to walk through the area a little bit better. And we have this nice school complex now. I think it turned out rather nicely. Now let's go to the used car lot area. So this is a fun build here. We got a gas station, we got a used car lot, and a dog park over here, which looks like has a couple trees in the middle. Yeah, see, I thought I fixed that issue. So the first part of this suggestion is to rename David's used cars. David asked to rename it to the following: Daffy Dave's Dodge and Jubilee. So I really like that suggestion. So thank you, David. And David is doing really good. They have no items to sell. They've already sold them all, except they have a truck in here for maintenance. So congratulations on your very successful used car lot, David. So let's add the next part in, which is to kind of make this a bit more of a commercial hub. There's a lot of activity going on here. It's a pretty major intersection now, so there should really be a bit more commercial zoning along here now, right? And I agree. So I'm just going to remove the trees along this part of the road. Only on this part of the road though, and maybe along this part as well. A reinvigorated Dunn Street. So let's add in just a bit of commercial. Let's check the districts along here. So this is a part of Dunn still. Fantastic. Very good to see. And then we'll just simply add in a little bit. So it looks like we're on a bit of a hill here. We're just going to re-level it slightly, and that will really help with how this will end up looking in the end. So we'll just re-level it all out. Just enough to get a couple pads of zoning in here. And then same thing right along here. This is a pretty major street after all, right? So it would only make sense that this area would be zoned up, especially after this town, really started booming. All right, so I'm not going to get anything along this street though, and we might get a bit on this side. So let's just simply add in some commercial zoning. So we'll be right back with that. Okay, so that's good enough. We got a bunch of the zoning in. A lot of these newer buildings, this is exactly what I was hoping for with this area. So we'll save some of these ones. I could definitely see a Burger King in here and a competing gas station. All right. They sell ice cream too, so watch out, Petro-Canada. And got that. There we go. That's good. Like these modern buildings. Got another one coming in here. Love the more modern ones. I think they came with the University DLC, if I'm not mistaken. Another gas station. Let's remove this one. We don't need too many gas stations on this corner. We got a McDonald's over here. Nice general store. This isn't exactly the vibe I'm going for the street, so let's remove it. Okay, sweet. And another more modern one. Love this one. Fantastic. This one I don't mind over here. Same with this one. Another Penny's. We can't have another one. Awesome. Okay, so we'll let the rest of them come in and we'll come back and we'll do a bit of detailing on it afterwards, but let's just see what this one ends up being. The Pop Soda. Bit of an older building. All right, okay. Well, I'm fine with this one. Bit of a legacy building, maybe. Oh. Got a pancake house. All right, is this another Penny's? Right across the street? My goodness. I guess people in Dunn's really like their Penny's. All right, and then let's just get maybe one building over here. So I think I need to add zoning back onto here. Yep. And then we'll just get a nice simple building right there on this part. Hopefully it'll be a-okay. Let's see if we can select the building that we want. So it's a 3x3 is what we're looking for. And let's see. Oh, we're already getting one. Let's see what it ends up being. I don't mind a bit of like a drive-through area. That could be okay. Let's see what it is. Yeah, I like this. I think this gives a cool little vibe coming in from the old street here into the newer area. And holy cow, it's really boomed now. Okay, we'll keep this one. Just go through them all. Love the more modern ones. I don't really care how many of them there are. Just because I think that's kind of the style we're going for. The coin laundry, awesome. And let's check the other side of the street. Got this little teeny one. Love it. Okay, sure, we'll keep this one. This is the same building again, so you know what? I guess developers really want that building in here, so we'll keep it. All right, so now that we have this in place, there's a couple things we can kind of do. So we have this nice commercial street kind of connecting everything up a little bit. It's a little bit less segmented. So what I like doing is in these areas, just, you know, filling it in with concrete, because having them so blocked out doesn't really make it seem as a unique full entity. And then we'll come back and we'll add in a bit of parking where we can. So let's just dive into that really quickly. Okay, so yeah, we just added a bit of parking in here. I think it looks pretty good. I assume that there's street parking on this road, but I think it looks pretty cool. All right, so that was the commercial zone and Daffy Dave's Dodge and Jubilee. So now let's start the revision of this. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna change things up from the order I previously mentioned. We're gonna upgrade the forestry industry now, because I just know we're gonna need to have some simulation time for it to help get to level 5, which I'm assuming it will next episode. So I'm not sure if we're gonna actually add in those level 5 buildings though. We'll see. So the forestry industry having some trouble getting raw forest products to these areas. But you know, we're full here. So I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. Seems like there's trucks all over the place delivering goods. So maybe that's just the fact that there's not a lot of, not enough service kind of points in the whole area. So one thing we can do is just to simply add in a giant one and hope for the best. Ooh. I guess prop and tree anarchy is on. That would be helpful if I just turn it off, wouldn't it? So hopefully that kind of adds to the whole situation. And then we can also add a bit more into our forestry area. So we're on a hill. Let's just grab the dirt road. And what I'm gonna do actually is just take out these trees temporarily, just so I can see where everything is, because I'm having a bit of trouble seeing where all the all the forest, all like the tree plantation things are. There's a couple suggestions that I would like to add in, and one of them is going to be to replace some of these with the tree sapling field and leave it as the field, because it'll indicate that they've already cut this area down and they're just waiting to replant. So we'll do one there, and then we'll do another one Okay, well, we're just gonna leave it for now, and then I'll re-add the trees around it. Okay, very good. So hopefully that helps out with this issue, but we've also recently unlocked the engineered wood plant. Now that is really fantastic. I'm planning on getting the engineered wood plant and the pulp mill closer to the train station. We also have the wood chip and sawdust storage, which I don't think we have any of in the whole area. So why don't we also add one of these in, add that one in, and then we have the wood chip storage as well. Let's just shift everything around to fit these in, make it seem like it's all one big plantation. Yeah, I think that works. Let's just connect these fences, and hopefully by adding in the wood chip and sawdust storage, that also helps the issue of getting products to these plants over here. because it's a little frustrating that they're not kind of getting used, especially when we are so close to everything. So we have the workers available to get us to level 4 already. We just need to get to 800, and then we also just need to wait for the products to kind of arrive. And let's make sure we actually have water out here as well. That would be helpful. Okay, so now that we've kind of added in some extra things with the forestry area, one thing that I would like to do based off some comments is I was thinking about getting some of the factories for the forestry industry out in this part of the map. However, there was a really good point that, especially with this one in particular, it's probably best just to keep this stuff off of the rail tracks and keep it nearby the highways, nearby the forestry industry altogether. And I think it's the only one that's purely for goods with paper and plain timber. Yes. So we could easily place this one over here somewhere, and I think this is going to be the goal, is to place this one down nearby. It's also important for us to get the warehouses in, and so I'm thinking about a location for this. And you know, it's a factory, but I'm sure it's also like an area where you can go to, so having it nearby a commercial zone would be good. So I'm thinking we have it over here. We'll run a back kind of industry route into the back here, and we'll also get some, from the train yard, and we'll also get some parking, and we'll also kind of build up this area right down here for this lot. Now it's pretty smoothed out, so let's just choose a point, and we'll work off of that. Let's go from this one. And I'm just going to, ooh, way too big. There we go. Just smooth out this area. And we gotta make sure that Daffy Dave's has their own lot, and we're not intruding on the lot, but I think this is good. We'll have the main entrance over here, and then we'll run the access road over on this side. We'll also rechange these roads up and get some warehouses. We have one warehouse that's for plain timber, but we don't have one for paper, so let's just get that going right now. There we go. Okay, so we need an access road and parking lots, so let's just get a really basic access road. You know what, I'm thinking of actually just using this one, and I think this is the spot that we leveled out. Yeah, right here. So let's go out straight. Make sure we have our guidelines on. To about here. Let's flip this around. And then we're going to have it kind of go in two directions, really. Just a really simple, like, kind of T formation. But in one instance, we are going to have the factory on, and it'll be kind of a dual purpose road. So I want to make sure it's a road that we can't park on. And we're going to have this one, let's put it this way, actually, like that. And then let's get the factory on here. So we'll just do this really quickly. Okay, so now that we got this in here, I think it actually just needs to be moved over a bit more. So it's going to get paper and plain timber deliveries. Let's make sure there's water in this area. There we go. And then I want to run a industry road from this point here. It's going to run along the back side here because it looks like there's a gate on this side right here that maybe there's deliveries that come in from. This side is all closed off. I don't think there's even an access door on this side. So customers would come in from this side as well. So that's something we need to consider. So let's start off with the industry road, and then we'll look at the next step in this project, and then we'll move on entirely. Okay, so now we're just going to get a parking lot, and we're going to use this one. And this was one of the purposes of this kind of T junction here that I was looking at, is I want to get one of these parking lots in here. Okay, so it looks like we just need to shrink this one a little bit, or at least move it over. We could just could actually swing it this way. That actually could work out great, actually. I think this is pretty nice. Let's just move this over to the left a little bit so that we get a little bit less glitching with the road. So to about that point. And then let's try and make sure that it's level. So we need to go to about there. That works with me. Now let's get these in. Okay, very good. So there's a couple things that we can do to kind of add some flair to the area, make it look a little bit nicer. Because you know this works. We could add. We want to make sure that this has a clear line of sight to the area, because this is, you know, the sign, right, for the whole factory. So that's important. And then I also want to make sure that we get some detail around the side here. So I think the best way to quickly detail anything is just with the forest brush. And I think what we'll do is we'll get the forest brush around here. But right along this side here, let's get a really simple path. Just the city path, actually. I think that'll work great. And because this is also going to help detail for us. So let's just bring this to about right here. There we go. So it has benches, it has garbage cans, and I assume that the workers would love to just come here and sit on the bench at lunch and whatnot, right? That actually looks pretty good. All right. Yeah, so another great tip when you're doing factories is think about the workers. The workers would 100% want an area to go around and sit, either lunch at, hang out with their pals at work, and no better thing for that than a couple picnic tables underneath some trees. And remember, you shouldn't place the picnic tables so perfectly because, let's be real, people move them around, especially these smaller ones. And I'm sure that there would be one in the shade over here. So now we're at the front of the space here. We got to make sure that it looks cool, it looks good, it looks realistic. And how do we do that? Well, from what I've seen, some cool factories have kind of like a maintained garden, but like a low maintenance maintained garden at the front. Just enough so that it looks fancy, and then it also kind of has like a fountain in there. And then, so I've seen them with like rocks and, oh, I got rid of some of the stuff. Okay, so I've seen it as like a water feature, right? But I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get that because I think this fountain is a bit too small for what I'm looking for. And this one is also way too small. So we could add a bit of a gazebo. That could be neat. But why don't we just leave it as so? And we could add like maybe a bit of rocks. That could be neat. No, I think I like this a little bit better. Just keeping it simple. But let's just add in like a taller rock as well. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's now add just a bit of newer trees. Just go with 3 on either side. And then why don't we also kind of add in some of this action over on this side. So just kind of randomly clicking it in. And then, oh, that's actually a different one that I was using before, but that's okay. And then we'll use some of these larger ones to kind of fill in a lot of the space. And yeah, okay, that works with me. Let's add in some forest brush again, just to really fill in the space. Okay, so we got a cool factory over here. It's got some parking. And now we've got to make sure that it's working. So we have paper and plain timber. Let's bump it up to 150. We're going to get some value out of that. And then now we can connect this part up. And then we'll go do our revision of the area from before. So this is a bit of a one-way system. Am I right in saying that? Yeah, so it comes, so cars can come in from this side, or they can come in from this side, and they just go directly through. They can turn back around or something like that, or they can come out this way. And let's see where all the cars are kind of going, because it seems like they're all coming from this side to drop their goods off, which is okay with me, but where are they going afterwards? Yeah, okay, so they're not even using this road to drop stuff off. But I would still like to keep a bit of a turnaround point for those cars to use. But why don't we just move some things around a little bit? And I think one of the good options we have available to us is to basically just pull these down to here. All right, and then this gives us cool access points as well to get other stuff in over here, like that pulp mill. Could go really nicely in this little slot, and that kind of leaves us this space open here for some light industry and even the engineered wood plant. Could place it off of this back road here, so it forces cars to actually use this road. Could pull it back as far as we can. Let's place it down and we'll see what it looks like, and then we'll just kind of shift it around until we get a desired location. All right, so we got one plant in here, and I think we'll be able to get another one of these in here as well. And this is going to be useful for other instances. But like we could get this in here, and then we can make it the unique factory products. But I think it would be beneficial to put this one over here, kind of hidden away. And maybe this is kind of like their extra storage lot area for furniture that just is maybe waiting shipment or something like that. So maybe this is their shipment area. And I think that kind of works a little bit better. So we'll put it on empty, and then we'll go all the way down to the bottom, unique factory products. There we go. So we got the unique factory in here. It looks pretty good. So you're driving along Dunn Street, and you can see Wood Vision here pretty clearly. I think one thing we need to do is move the spawn point. Yeah, so let's just move the spawn point over here. We'll pull it into the factory, and hopefully that gives us a little bit better of what we're looking for. And yeah, there we go. Very simple, really quick factory. Now let's work on, holy cow, look at the traffic now. That is fantastic. And let's just quickly check on this. So almost at the workers we need. We're gonna get there. We have so much available, and we're just about at the resources. So I'm sure we'll see that pretty soon, actually. Let's put this one on empty. This one empty and empty. Okay, so now let's do this revision over here. So, you know, there's lots of sick people over here, which is because we have no healthcare over here, because that healthcare was supposed to come with Elizabethtown. So, you know, that's okay. But I think the main focus on this revision is going to be the train station. So the main point that I missed when I was building this off of a suggestion was to get the train station in here. And I figured it'd be really cool to kind of mimic it. In a way, they'd be pretty close to the same spot, but it doesn't allow for intercity trains at all. And intercity trains clog up our network. And we don't exactly have the strongest of rail network right in here. We have tons of rail traffic that flows through here. I want to eventually do a whole rail episode again. I like segmenting things for YouTube, where we'll bring this rail line further out. But as you can see, there is some rail traffic. It's not as good of an example as I was kind of expecting it to be, but this, for example, is an intercity train. And, you know, it's a shared cargo line as well. So honestly, anything we can get to remove trains on the central line is going to be important, because especially in the future, I want to get some cargo infrastructure into here around Ortonville, and that'll be coming later in the week. So first of all, let's remove this from the area. We'll shift it over here for now, just for now, and then we'll move the train over into here. And then we'll rejig the bus station and we'll run bus lines and we'll call it a day. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of this simmed until we get to a place where I'm comfortable with where the train station is. Yeah, okay, so talk to you. Oh, what we're gonna have to do is move the pedestrian zone a little bit, but talk to you momentarily. Okay, so there we go. I can't believe I deleted a node right here and it changed all the stations up. So glad I fixed that. The next step on this project is going to be moving this bus station over a little bit. So I was debating, should we just leave this parking lot here? And I kind of like it here. I was thinking it might not be this like as useful as it was once before, but you know, if we get the bus station right in here or right in here, maybe that could be really good. This area could be a good spot for it, mainly because the point of having these three items together, the metro station, which is actually a converted train station, the train station and the bus, is that they'll all be kind of close together in a bit of a chain. So I'm wondering if we could actually get this right in here, and I think we probably could squeeze it in right here. So let's try that out. Let's just remove this and let's change these roads in here to be bus roads. We'll remove the zoning, and then we'll just basically just move this. So I guess we can just move it then. And yeah, you know what? This fits pretty nicely. I would say so. Sorry about all the jumping around a little bit, but it's a bit tricky to do with all the buildings around. So let's see how it works. Where are the buses coming in from? Did I get the right side? Okay, so they're going around. I think I might need to flip it. So let's try flipping it. Okay, yeah, so it's just the fact that this green bus has a funky method of going about. So why don't we try and grab it so it comes out on this side. Let's get a temporary stop right there. So then they come into here and then they flip around. So we'll leave this as a bit of a bus kind of turnaround point, just because I think that's a bit more thematic to do. Okay, and then now let's remove this. We'll take out the trees in here and we'll convert these into being bus roads and pedestrian roads. And this will actually change everything about this whole area's function, right? So we could even get this to be a normal road, which I'm not opposed to at all. And I think that's probably the best bet, especially if it's a road with parking. I think that would be good. So let's do that. Let's convert this one into a normal road, and then it's a bit more like this area was recently converted into a pedestrian zone, and I like that idea. Oh, wrong path type. Let's pause the game really quickly, and then let's change the tree in here, and also turn off zoning. Yeah, you know what? I think this is going to work out nicely. Let's see if we can get some stuff back in here. So we might lose a couple buildings. That's okay. But I think this is going to work out. So now what is going to become of this area, right? Well, this area can just become simple zoning. We'll run a couple buses through here anyways, so that's all good. Or this could become the service point area. Because now that we have the train station over here, this can become a bit more of a commercial hub. We can repurpose this road, so let's actually upgrade. Oh, wrong type of road actually. Let's put this one as a no parking road, and we'll upgrade this one down to here. Let's just scooch it back. So this is the former Prince Charles Street, which they've since moved when they redid this roundabout and cut it off from over here. So this was the old road, and then they built this new bypass road. So now I guess this would be parking as well, right? This is kind of a long-term parking area, and then maybe this parking lot can become maybe parking for visitors to the area. So I think we need a bit of a destination point then for this whole area then. So let's take a quick look around, like, you know, a destination as in to bring some people in here. Why is there a point of coming out this way? Is there anything, is there even a purpose of coming out this way, right? So I think first of all, a good look is to go through your level 1s and then go to your level 2s. And yeah, there's a couple things that I have, like, you know, the transport tower, it's just too big for what we're looking for. There's a couple parks out this way. Not really anything catching my mind so far. Yeah, definitely not those. I really like this tower here, but I don't think this is the right spot for it. Although it could be kind of fun to get this in over here. I mean, it's a pretty massive tower, and I kind of like that idea. It'll also bring people over here. So yeah, why don't we place this one in? I was struggling to find a place for it that worked effectively. Or we could get the arena. Ooh, I don't think Dunn has a hockey arena yet, and that is pretty important. And it might also play into the fact that there's a parking lot over here. So let's do the arena. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, I'm glad. I've been kind of looking for different spots for that tower, so we didn't have to have that in there anyways. So we'll get the arena in here, and I think we got to build up this area a bit more. And yeah, we're gonna need to do a couple things with this. Okay, very cool, very cool. And then we'll get a nice big parking lot on this side. Yeah, let's do that. Parking lot. And let's go 5x4, no, 4x4. And let's see if we can just get a bunch of these in here, because I feel like this would be realistic for this type of train station. Okay, very good. And then I guess all that really needs to be done is some detailing in this area, and redoing this whole zone as well. So let's just fill this back up with concrete, as is tradition. We'll do this one as well. And then we'll get some buildings in here, probably some condos, bit of commercial. We're gonna move some commercial out over here. So let's do that. I think it's probably best to get as much commercial in here as well. Why don't we get a bit of offices in here? We were talking about that before. Let's go residential through here. And why don't we get another residential tower right there? And we think we can get a couple more residential buildings right in there. And then we need to rework this area entirely to make it accessible for the arena. So let's start by smoothing this area out. Let's start off by selecting the height that we want. And then we'll bump this whole area out to remove the hitbox. And then we need to run a path all the way around it. So a couple methods we could use is we could use this one and then add concrete in between. And I think that's probably a good idea, in between the path and the building itself. Let's run this one to about here. And then we can run this one down to here. Nice. And then let's run a connection up to here. Okay, very cool. Remove some of this, and then let's add in concrete around here. Okay, very nice. And then we have one more spot here. I think we could probably, no, let's try a commercial building. I think that would be fine. Nice, I like how this is turning out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I like the style of buildings in here anymore. So let's change up the offices. Remove that. I guess we could keep the commercial in here. Yeah. And then we'll let those become normal offices then. And then let's get another residential building in here maybe. Really looking to bump up the residential capacity of this area. Let's get some commercial. Holy moly, look at this. This is awesome. So people are using, or you're just using the paths right now to walk through, and that's okay. So let's see if we can get some more commercial through here. Okay, so, I think this turned out pretty nicely. A bit of a redone kind of area. I think there's a bit more detail that needs to be added into. I want to make sure that the condos are all looking a-okay with the parking and everything, the parking situation, everything like that. But I just wanted to end today's video with the bus lines. And one bus line in particular is going to become really important. And I'm just going to move around this blue bus to be that. I just put this one in as a kind of a test, right? So this bus is going to pretty much go from the train station, so right there, and it's going to run from the train station and then back into here. Let's put these ones right at the end. There we go. And then out of the train station, it's going to run right up to here. I suppose it'll have to end right here. So then people can run to the metro, and then it will come through here, through the main area, stop outside of the arena, and then it will go back to the train station. So it looks like I just messed up the lines a little bit like that. So we'll have it come into here, and then it'll just bypass, but we can get it to stop somewhere close, I guess. And it's kind of running like a bit of a loop, right? So that's all we really need. And then this green line here doesn't need to go into there, but we do need it to run somewhere over here so we can get it to run into the train station area. And then it can turn around via the roundabout and come all the way back into Dunn. So I suppose what we can do is kind of get these ones to run in opposite directions. So this one can run from the train station, or sorry, from the metro into here, and then to the train station. And this one's running from the train station to the bus to the metro. So the green one is metro, bus, train. The blue one is train, bus, metro. And it looks like we have quite the traffic jam on this area. So hopefully these new buses will help out with that. And then we should definitely get another bus from here, which goes up into here. We'll get it to stop by the school. And then it will run by this old train station that's no longer in use. And we'll get it to stop out right in there. And it'll come right up into the heart of Dunn. And we can just get it to turn around, I guess, and come right back the same way. So in a way, it's running the opposite loop as the green one is. And then it'll run right into the bus. Okay, so that is about it, folks. Sorry for the long episode, but I wanted to get a lot done and done so that we can work out in different spots in the coming episodes. So I hope you like how Dunn is coming out. I'm glad we have the arena in here now. It was missing something, and I really like how this whole area has kind of been reshuffled. The new parking lot looks really cool. The new bus hub looks good right in there. Lots of residential in this area. We got the arena. We got the elementary school in here as well. And what else did we do? Oh my gosh, look at the traffic. We got this big commercial zone in through here. And we got the unique factory. We got the engineered wood plant down in here, and we also added to the forestry industry. So all in all, massive episode today. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let's end it off like this. Peace out.